All right, everyone, welcome to episode 4, where we will be talking about budgeting and how to stay on track with that.
Let's get into, how you actually earn the money for your films.
I earn money by one, I am a server at a fine dining restaurant, so I get paid pretty well there. So that's going to be one of my main sources of income. And I actually take about 20% of what I make there and I put aside just for film. So that way I am constantly building that account. So when it's time to film, I do have money. But I also do DoorDash. If I don't make a certain amount of money for that night, the very next day, I'm going to DoorDash to make the money that I need in order to stay on track when it comes to filming. And also, I do day trade. So that's also put into factors as far as like if I'm going to DoorDash or not. I day trade and I put that money, actually keep that money inside my day trading account. So that money does not move until it's time to film. And again, that's where the DoorDash comes in because if I lose money, I need to make that money up at work. And if I don't, then I DoorDash to make the rest of that money up.
The trading option, while it could be profitable, is considered a very high risk option.
Yes. So know what you're doing when you're day trading and just know the risks and make sure you have another source of income to help with that. And definitely, you know, if you do go the day trading route, try your hardest not to lose a lot of money in a day. If so, you're definitely gonna have to DoorDash for a while.
Yeah, the best tip would be learn. Like don't get into day trading immediately.
Right.
There's things called paper trading accounts. If you actually want to go that route, look into paper trading account. No real money is involved. You'll actually learn how things work. Do a lot of research. Investing is high risk per week, right? You say you're saving money and you're putting a certain percentage aside, 20%. Are
hmm
you looking to hit a specific number every week or every month, or is it always different?
It depends on the project. So I have a budget for my project. Then I know when I want to shoot the project. And from there, I know how much I need to make a month, how much I need to make a week, a day. And that's what I go off of. So if it's a short film that I'm working on, it's a lot less. Like I don't need to make as much money, especially if I don't plan on shooting it for like 5 months, because I always give myself time. I'm never rushing. I'm not going to go into a project and just, okay, I want to shoot it now. I want it to look as good as possible. So I take my time and I make sure I have the money for it. So just depending on what the project is, how much it's going to cost, and then I calculate how much I need a day, how much I need a week, how much I need a month, and that's just how I go about that.
While you're saving this film fund on the side of your actual savings and your everyday expenses, how do you not touch it?
I have two different banking accounts, and one is strictly for film, one is strictly for personal funds, and I do not keep my debit card for the film account. That way, I'm not able to actually touch that money. I have to actually go to the bank, so I have to be intentional to use that money. I don't have it where I can transfer money from one account to the other. I literally have to take the money out of my personal account and take that money to my business account after it's deposited from work. So I just try to make sure it's not as tangible as possible so that I'm not just using it because, oh, I can just use it because I'm going to put it back. Like, no, I don't have access to this right now unless I go to the bank.
That's a smart move.
Yeah.
This process of saving can be long, and people can get, demotivated by the time. So, how do you stay motivated during this saving process to not give up and just, use it for something else?
I stay motivated just thinking about like honestly like my family, just thinking about like what this can mean whenever I do like that right project, that one project that's going to like blow up and take us to the next level. Like that's what motivates me. ET says it. He's a motivational speaker, and he's like, "What's your why? Your why?" Well, that's my why, and that's what keeps me motivated and what keeps me going. And that's just what I turn to whenever I do feel a little down, a little low, like feeling like it's never going to get there. But I just go to my why, and yeah, it just keeps me motivated, keeps me going. And I go to the gym to kind of clear my head, so that helps out as well.
Yeah, going to a gym is far more important than people think.
Yeah, because it's just like you around other like motivated people. They may be motivated to do other things, but you can just kind of tell. You can just it's just the energy in the gym. Everyone working out, everyone just kind of doing their own thing.
So let's talk about actual saving for the film. Like, now you've saved this money, right? Well, let's now save on the actual production. So how do you cut unnecessary expenses, and how do you use budgeting tools to help you save money?
I would say when it comes to like cutting things, a lot of times when I do my budgets, I would choose like the most expensive route. That way, it's easier for me to cut than to having to add. So if I need extras in my budget, I'll have about 60 to 80 extras in my budget. If I didn't reach my budget, I think I can still do it with 40. Cut it in half. That's going to save you money. We already have lights. So, in my budget, I put equipment, some equipments I already have. Cut some of that. We can still do it with what we have. I just make sure that, again, whenever I do my budget, I'm doing it the most expensive way to get it done. That way, when it's time and I look at the money that I have at the moment, I can see where I'm able to cut and I can see where I'm not able to cut.
Along the way, investing in your own equipment and slowly collecting all of the things that you need is highly recommended as well. Because, as you said, that's now your equipment, and you don't have to rent that. You can put that down on the equipment list as free because you own it, besides maintenance, obviously.
Right, and it's just a smart way to do things, and it'll be you'll be able to shoot things more frequently because you actually have the equipment. You don't have to go out and buy these things, and even if you like have the equipment, like you don't have to, you may not have to pay actors. Maybe actors. There's just a lot of good that can come from owning your equipment.
Yeah, equipment is, I'd say, past certain people who charge an arm and a leg for their time. Equipment is probably your number one expense at our level.
Yes, because you definitely want quality. So if you can get the quality, not necessarily for free because you did pay for the equipment, but if you can have that quality whenever you need it without now coming out of pocket, that'll be good.
So when you've got all the money that you saved, and now you're budgeting, right? And you want you to stretch your money as far as it can go, because obviously it took a while to save up in the first place.
Mhm.
How do you go about stretching your dollar as far as you can for a production?
I personally, if there's things that I can do as the producer, I would do it. If I need to, I can grip, I can gaff. If it's a day where a lot of crew isn't really needed, I'll step into that role. So that's another way I'll cut that budget.
People always forget about food, and sometimes they don't even budget for it. So my question for you is, how on a big set because we've done multiple sets with, over 100 people. How are you using this budget and feeding everyone good food, or also saving money to get the food? Like how are you going about doing that?
So I think I'm a little lucky on this category because I'm able to cook myself. So I prep the food for like dinner. I prep the food, I get it ready, and the only thing I need people to do is put it in the oven. So if we're on set, I'll have the food there. I'll bring the food, put it in the refrigerator. Whenever it's time, I'll have a PA just throw it in the oven. I'll give them a timer, and then they pull it out whenever that timer's done. Um, Snacks and everything, I go to Sam's Club and I just get bulks of stuff, which is in the budget. I get bulks of things. I set up a table, and all the snacks are there. I don't put all the snacks out at once because I don't want people eating it up at the very beginning. But I'll put half out at the beginning, half after we eat dinner, and then that should keep us good the rest of the day. But I actually cook myself, or I have my mom and sisters cook, depending on if they are in the area where we're filming. They'll actually do that for me because they're very supportive that way. So as far as like food, I guess I'm a little lucky when it comes to that. But I definitely, if I do like something like pizza or something like that, that's because it's the very end of the day. We already had the dinner that we cooked, and people are just hungry because it's taking a little longer than usual. I do not recommend pizza. If that's all you can afford, then that's what you can afford, right? But definitely try your best to get them something different, something hot, and they'll be definitely more appreciative if you do that. Besides like pizza, because they probably get that a lot on independent films.
So let's talk about, what about like contingencies? Like you've planned for this, you've planned for that, but now this random thing has popped up. How do you make sure that that is included in the budget?
So I have a miscellaneous section in my budget. It's always $2,000. I never change it. So I actually budget for that. If something happens and it takes $2,000 away from my budget, then I need to reschedule because something drastic happened, and I need to figure that out. So I do have that in my budget just in case something happens, that unexpected, so that we're still covered and we are still able to shoot.
So to have that spare $2,000, ready to go, how do you know that you are accurately estimating your cost for your gear and your locations and, like you said, your food?
Well, because I have an idea as far as like how much I need, depending on the people, like how much food I need, what I need on set. And that $2,000 is literally like an insurance. Like it's not something that I have to shoot the film, but it's just something extra just in case anything happen at all.
Yeah, like that 2000 is not even part of the budget technically. It's literally its own thing on the
Right,
side.
exactly.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would say this is one of the hardest parts in filming is getting the money to actually film. Um, Definitely make sure that if you're going to say your project is for pay, that you actually pay people and that you actually have the funds in the bank um, before you even start filming. It's okay to, push back if you have to. People rather you push it back than to work for free. So just make sure that you're covered and that you do what you said you're going to do as far as money.
Yeah, and having a clear budget obviously is one of the main factors to reducing stress and having a smooth production. And it's literally as simple as saving $20 a week, because even though it's small, it does add up quick.
Saving anything, just make sure you're saving for it. Like no matter what it is, what the number is, save for it, save for it, save for it. And definitely, if you can, get 2 banking accounts. One for film, one for personal.
And be smart with your money. Don't hire somebody, like don't spend all your money on one thing. Make sure you're allocating it correctly. You know, somebody who's really really good, like a DP, that might be worth a good percentage of the budget, but you've got to make sure that it actually is worth it.
Right. And definitely, if you're going to hire a DP and pay them most of your money, make sure you see a reel and ask the questions. Did you like this? Did you, ask the questions that need to be done? That way, you're covered and you're not just throwing money to people because they asked for it.